People been waiting for a minute for something authentic. Came in the truth and bossed in it, made niggas recruit. Had this shit light on the false image, I.S.U.P.K on court. Now who the fuck on scrimmage to words for some checks? What is good riddance on affiliate? I'm living the symptoms, I know you feel me, nigga. It's a death threat in hip hop. You don't stop that weak shit, I'ma mix a lean with some grim lock. When the last time you heard this roll, when I wish force, when the earth and heaven and by the piss fall. We been the war, you know what I'm taking risks for. Ain't got no picks or no cars to hold. Only angels watch my step and block down my soul. Can't let them leave my body cold. I know you feel me, nigga. Let the wicked weak and the leak was real. God never been 50-50. I said now I'm like to stick myself. Let the righteous cry silence the fulfiller. A rebel without a cause. As long as I remember, I'm taking the kingdom. The only thing on my agenda. Get the boy, get nigga. Middle finger to the one that try to destroy me. Religion, beauty, I'm a beast. On the bitch, she can't eat unless she join me for dinner. My God ain't got no regard for a sinner. I'm all falling on them like timber. I know you feel me, nigga. And that cause is time I stand still. Go to work for the colony and bring it back to the end here. What's everything I drop heavy as an anvil. So you understand like a man in this damn field. I know you feel me, nigga. Quality, it gotta be one man win. And the rest little slave devastator. I'm calculating my next move. You became a real nigga, sick refuge. Body shots for cause, that'll get you bruised. My niggas home like a chicken little attitude. I give a fuck if you move on your little holiday like a Mr. Scrooge. Resurrected from the grave, walking from the fall. Bitches in my eyes, dripping the mud. Screaming God bless the underdog down by the left. And live by that protocol, put my face out my sight. Ain't no hope in cross drugs. Like the same war resist, will get born into a world that never left. I will endure, intellectual be, no correction will be swift. No Will Smith, but I heal left. What else would you call the killer of deception? A leader got soldiers on post in every direction. All blow like a German chef. Looking arrested, smile hard like you're driving next. I know you feel me, nigga. You already know what time it is, you understand? I.S.U.P.K, one president command to the higher all my brothers. We on the throne, you understand? These niggas weak, these niggas don't know what to do. This shit is soldiers beside me, standing in all that with the shield going on. Watch it, they all out. All the country, what else is tight? I'm a nigga black, come, I'm a nigga black. They know it's really crack. Cows cold, real niggas don't break sample, but they believe and will compromise the day. Never harmonize the trade. Do not affiliate with impersonators. You cross the line, you gon' catch the bait. My niggas strong, no chase. You other niggas sweet like violators. They can't put a brown sugar like the dilate. Every time I move, a righteous demonstration. All I deny say. My brother's glorious, true warriors, the labor swore down and death sitting, changed after we the glorious, thrown in my way, with a supreme audience, rap ass nigga, get down, no longer than rap my brothers. Yeah, you already know what it is, 144 back in the day, you can touchdown, put it down for my brother, and I'm gonna straight so, that's why you niggas put this shit on, and I'm teasing them, they my brothers, you gon' pull it on the team on the stage, you gon' ruin it. We gon' take you from the front. It's for the wise man, told me liquor from the top shelf, but I spit it with the love. One for the stroke, nigga, and the black coat. One for the home, and one for the beat, one for the shit. Down my cars, out of show. There's already got us for late, come with the things to pop up. Every Jones locker, no pop the central locker. No competition, only glory in the business for my brother.
Yeah, Shalom Israel.
Shalom.
Yeah. Again, this is I.S.U.P.K Trinidad and Tobago. Again, I.S.U.P.K started out of 125th Street, Harlem, New York, and is currently, under the righteous leadership of a brother and a father, who had been, true to the nation and, had never, put down his sword by the name of, Commander General Yohanna. He had demonstrated, brotherhood has been recorded, in all records, in these scriptures, just as the prophets are old, the apostles, these men, demonstrated brotherhood to the highest level. And when I say the highest level, in understanding, who we serve. And we serve, a true and living power. And this is why, we are out here on these live streams, in these classes, because of that demonstration and, of that love that is shown throughout the nation and, throughout the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General Yohanna. And, as we, continue to remind the nation and continue to remind Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that these are your records, and by you shunning, your identity is what going to have you tossing to and fro by every wind and doctrine. And this is why the I.S.U.P.K under Commander General Yohanna, under righteous leadership, could bring these reminders, to the Blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indian community. And as we, demonstrate that love which the scriptures recorded, how we ought to love our brother, the only place you can find that true love and the spirit of that love is in the I.S.U.P.K. Right? So, a lot, has been going on, and, you're seeing the wickedness, as we say, or as we say, deception of, our people, towards one another. And again, this was always the fight, within our records, us coming up against one another. And as made mention, our king set the record straight, and he gave that reminder, and he said, that you ought to, love your brother as yourself. Because again, coming out of a state and of a condition of our people that have been oppressed over 400 years, This is what you're going to experience. That those who supposed to be, as we say, and we always make mention, gatekeepers, have erred. And why they have erred? Because why? They choose, to accept that gift. And, as we had written in our records, and that's paraphrasing, we had that ultimatum where, I think it was in Exodus, where he said that, choose, you get ultimatum between life and death. But here, what I go do for you? I go forward here, and I go give you a heads up. Choose life. And this is in your record, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. The choice of life. And as we see, the battle, against that spirit of you, putting away your lustful desires of this society is something that you always war against. And Commander General Yahanna taught us that warfare, the fight against that fleshly spirit, that desire. And because he stand firm and as a good soldier, endure. This is what he have been raising up sons, brothers, to endure, that we may be the example to our sons, and to be that pillar, as we say, that the rock where the Most High had set, that the nation could build on, unmovable, unshakable. And as we examine ourselves daily, and as generals and them continue to bring out a lot of edifying and informative things that that will build the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man spirit, that will set them in that place that that they would be as we say, to be in that good standing in the sight of the Most High. Because again, as we say, as the scripture says, we were just as filthy rags. But cleaning up our act and cleaning up, our mindset, we could be in that good standing. And our King Yahushua set that example. He set that example before the nation that we should follow. And he set that example in the spirit of brother, and bringing back that understanding whereby we as a nation could come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. Come back to our identity and come back, from that place of a dilapidated state and condition where, these nations, trample upon us, use and abuse us, murder our forefathers, as we say, introduce a woman to the abortion clinics, whereby, as we say, we suppose, as we are, as the sands of the sea, numberless. But the Most High God, as he say, he know every grain of hair upon our heads. And this is why, he could call and out and make mention and records that all forefathers, the ones who adhere to these laws, statutes, and commandments, that seed would always be, part of this earth. Because why? It was always set in order, as we say, since from the time of, in the garden. We say that, hey, he said before us that tree of good and the tree of good and evil. And because why? He was always created to be that that good, that righteous people. And because again, because of influence, and because of that fleshly spirit fall into the lust and the desires of your own way, of your own thinking, this is why we are in this condition today. And again, as we remind brothers and sisters that it is very important again to tune into these classes, because again, the information that is being shared is something that will uplift your spirit. It's something that will build you. And you will have the opportunity, just as the scriptures say, choose life, because the opportunity is before you. And as Commanding General Yahanna, generals, the men above captains, officers, brothers, fighting, their lustful desire to enter into this arm of brotherhood, and warring every day. It was, as we say, it was a great honor to be in service, or to serve, under King Yahushai, and under the righteous leadership of Commander General Yan, and everything that is set down before us. And we at the I.S.U.P.K, again, this is why we always make mention the affiliation. We do affiliate with any religious organization, because why? They took these records and make it as a laughing stock and as a joke before people, and not looking at the life that we ought to live. And this is why as we see everything that is taking place before us, is the most causing that separation. And when you hear the cry of people, and you look on all these social media platforms, you would see Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian in that place where they'd be crying and playing. And this is the time of our separation, where the Most High God is showing and demonstrating. And as we remind again the Akiam and the Aquatium, and as we say, we speak in our Hebrew tongue, which is Lashawan Kwadash, and you can tune into this class every Friday throughout the nation. Here in Trinidad, UK, in the North, Central, and South America, these classes, and them again, this you learning back at home. And this is why it'll always be a reminder, because the platform is before the nation. The correction is before the nation. And again, the I.S.U.P.K have been doing this since 1969, raising up righteous brothers and sisters, teaching them their walk and their way of retaining their identity. And again, as we look at the topic again tonight, because why? Brotherhood, the key to life. And you could only find that in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General Yahanna. Right? Again, tune in, every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturdays. Again, Commander General Yahanna doing it up, with the Black Watch, bringing the edification, and bringing a lot that is going on in the nation.
Right.
With as we say, that black CNN, and you can see the war. Because why? As our King made reminder, he said, know this, don't feel that they hate you, they hated me first. So this is just a reminder. And this is why now the demonstration and leadership that or as we say, brothers and sisters, in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General Yahanna, is as we say, as the highest in our records, because it is proven in our records that our King led by example. The prophets, the men are all led by that example. Right? So that we get Proverbs chapter 22 and
from the book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 1. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches.
Right, and as the scripture says, a good name is rather to be chosen than riches. And when you do, as we say, you can do, any search, because again, social media is a platform at this time in the society. Do any background search or any as I say, looking for any information and check how our brother, or as we say, our father, and in great leadership commanded generally, and again, what you will find, because why? He chose that good name. And this is what he have been teaching, brothers, who turn away from all these, walks of life. Retain back that name. As you say, who's the power? Yahweh Basham Yahushua is the power. Who's your king? Yahweh Shai. What's your name? Israel. This is the platform that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians ought to come back to. That good name. Than again the riches of this society, because we see what is taking place, and we see the war that is before us. Right? Continue.
And loving favor rather than silver and gold.
And loving favor rather than silver and gold. And that favor in having that good name is what could, heal our wounds, bring us together as a nation, remind us again that who our brother is, who our sister is. Because why? Because we put these things, as we say, brotherhood, sisterhood, before this. Because why? It was made mention in our records. And our King Yahushua reminded us, and he said, on these two, and the laws and the prophets, to love your brother and yourself, love the Most High God, with all your heart, and you again to that, and love your brother and yourself.
Yeah.
And this is why, as we start, on this platform, with that good name, this is why, we could come before the nation. This is why, we could, bring out these records. This is why, we could make mention of all that is taking place. And this is why, again, because of that eye of righteousness, commanding generally, and I've raised up, righteous brothers, righteous sisters, throughout North, Central, and South America, here in the Caribbean, here in Trinidad, here in the UK, in all these states, in Babylon, as we say, or America, raising up brothers in Brazil, Dominica, Haiti. Because why? That good name. Puerto Rico, because of that good name. Because why? That good name, as the scripture, is rather to be chosen. And this is what he has been teaching us. To choose that name. To choose a good name. Don't be, as we say, don't be, that sellout or that coon, and accepting the gift of our oppressor, which only, as we say, just endure it for a while, last for a while. When you have something that endure it forever and ever. So, as the scripture say, a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches. Because why? This was offered to our king, as we say, at that time, by who? By that spirit, that, or as we say, that spirit Satan. When he took up our king and he said, hey, I will give you all this, just bow down. He say, all this already belong to me. All this it already belonged to us, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian, because why? It was given to us by our Father. Since from the time at the garden, when He chose, the forefather Adam, and gave him these laws, statutes, and commandments out of all the nations, because why? We ought to be, ruling in righteousness, and we see what does take place when the righteous are in authority. And this is why, again, the spirit of brotherhood and, sisterhood, again, that goes hand in hand. Because why? It's as a reminder to our sisters as well. It's a reminder to the nation, brothers and sisters, right? And, as we, go into the scriptures again with our good name and that brotherhood being that key to life, we will, walk off of that platform. And as you see, go through our records and understand, as we say, as the generals, the captains, the men above, have taught us in raising us in that righteous spirit, in raising us in the spirit of brotherhood, and raising sisters in the spirit of sisterhood, that love for one another, right? You get to go to 1 John, you go to 1 John chapter 4, and we'll start at 1.
Look at 1 John chapter 4 and verse 1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world.
And why is John making mention of this? Because again, as was broken down in times by these generals. This is the same John who wrote the book of John and who wrote Revelation as well, and making mention of this. And he say, believe not every spirit, but try the spirit. And when you look around in society today, which black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man is trying the spirit? More or less what they are doing is compromising by that spirit, because or as we say, or trying to suffice or to feed the fleshly desire. And by not trying that spirit is why you will end up with in the Christian church, in the Muslim mosque, in all these religious organizations. Because why? These records was not brought into context or brought in the proper, understanding to you. Because why? Because of you now adopting the spirit of the society. But know this, in the I.S.U.P.K under commanding General GEN.YAHANNA, we teach brotherhood, we teach sisterhood, we teach again how to to make marriages work. Because why? Again, our King brought the understanding where we erred in time past. And this is why now, again, as John, make mention, and he make mention again, and he say, beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they be of, the Most High, right? Go ahead.
Hereby know ye the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesseth that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is of God.
And as we look through and as we say, we make mention that a lot of these religious organizations don't believe that Christ was said to be that king. Because why? Even the as we say, the so-called Jewish man don't believe in Jesus as they know him as, or don't believe in our King Yahushua, which we know in Hebrew. Because why? because these records was written to the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man. This is why, as the scripture say, many false prophets are going out into the world. A lot of deceivers are outside there. A lot of, as we say, your Israelite brother or Israelite sister out there is walking after, the spirit of the society. And this is why, they are made mention as what? As the outcasts, as Gentiles. And again, that is as we say, that is a topic that, was shared, throughout the I.S.U.P.K or teach or taught by brothers, and again, you can tune, you can type it in on the web page, and you will find, brothers breaking down who are the Gentiles, who are the Jews, breaking down the scriptures. But again and again tonight, our topic again, or as we go through our records, again, this brother is that key to life. And as we read through our records, this is how you're going to obtain that life. This is how you're going to obtain, as the scriptures say, holding on, just as our King said it. On these two hang all the laws and the commandments, right? From the jump down to jump to 12.
The book of 1 John chapter 4 and verse 12. No man had seen God at any time. If we love one another, God dwelleth in us,
Right.
and his love is perfected in us.
And why? Why? Because that platform had already been set. Because our King, Yahushua, or as what the world know as Jesus Christ, had already set that platform. Had already set, as we say, that way or that pathway, that where the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man could come back. Because again, this brother was questioning the same thing, Nicodemus. When he asked him the question, how shall a man be saved? Shall a man enter back into his mother's womb? When he break it down, as he say, because why? The Most High God had loved you, Israel, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian, and had set that way where you could, as we say, could get back that life, obtain back that life, as we say, or that righteous leadership. And this is what the I.S.U.P.K have been building since 1969. Righteous brothers, righteous sisters, building back, the nation. Because why? It is recorded in here. Right. And again, as the generals, break down, General Hyman, and again, as Commanding General Yana made mention, let's do a class, every class, this blow your mind. This put you in a path whereby hey, you're going to choose life. You make sure and choose life. And out of love. Because why? The love that he's demonstrating again as a good father is recorded inside here. Right? Go ahead.
Can. Hereby know we that we dwell in him, and he in us.
And this is how we know that we dwell in him and he in us. Go ahead.
Because he had given us of his spirit.
Because he had given us of his what?
His spirit.
And he had given us of his spirit. And this is what we are seeing, demonstrated right now in the I.S.U.P.K. The spirit of brotherhood, the spirit of sisterhood. Because again, when you look at a lot of, these, as we say, Christian groups or organizations, imagine, trying to stop the Lord's Passover, going as far as that. Going as far as that, and again, as we say, imagine this, and brothers and sisters looking on, through the four corners of the earth where the I.S.U.P.K reside. It's like, hey, what's wrong with them, buddy? The plain mad, and Commanding General YAHANNA with our righteous leadership, and in the spirit of the Most High and Christ, raising up brothers and raising up sisters, marching on. Remind brothers, hey, just march on. Because why? Know this. Our King reminded us of this. Don't feel they hate you, they hate me first. And we seeing it, as we say, in these four corners where the Lord's, Spirit dwell, where it reside, in these schools and them. And we see it, see that as you say, that same challenge, just as the scribes and Pharisees doing in that time, when they come up against, as we say, as we know, the brother and the king. And this is why it always be that reminder. Right? As the scripture says, read over verse 13 again.
The book of 1 John chapter 4 and verse 13. Hereby know we that we dwell in him, and he in us, because he had given us of his spirit.
And he had God given us of his spirit. Because when you look at the spirit of the men in the I.S.U.P.K, again, under that righteous leadership, and under, the spirit of brotherhood, and, Commanding General Yahanna have been raising strong sons. Our King Yahushua did the same. The prophets all did the same. Because why? They remind them, remind brothers, remind sisters, that spirit, as we say, we ought to serve God rather than men. And in serving the Most High God, what you're going to find? Righteousness in the nation. Because why? The men that serving, the true and living power, obey his ordinances, his laws, his statutes, his judgments. And this is why we always make mention that separation is that key in us finding our way back. And as you know, captains in previous Black Watch, Captain Mashak, Captain Kantamia, Captain Natak, a lot of these Captain Dazaria, Captain Kataza, these men and them, Captain Akkad, them on this level of what, a man walking after the teachings of his father, after the teaching of the men above, in carrying out orders. And this is why, again, as brothers raise up in order and walk after this spirit, walk after this truth. And as the scripture says, this is how we're going to know that he is in us, because why? He had given us of his spirit, and the Most High have given us brothers in the I.S.U.P.K, sisters in the I.S.U.P.K, under Commanding General Yahanna, that spirit, because Commanding General Yahanna had passed down that spirit. And this is why, again, we have that discipline. Because why? Any good father will teach his children discipline. And we see outside of the I.S.U.P.K, in these Christian churches, in this religious organization, they don't have any discipline. Because why? They took on the spirit of, as we say, they are the father, the devil, this deceiver, so-called white man, dabbling and dwelling in, dingling in all, his walks of life. And we will always remind brothers and sisters of that. Right? Jump to verse 20.
Verse
20.
20. Verse 20. If a man say, I love God, and hated his brother.
And this is for a Christian pastor. This is for again for imam, for a religious organization, because we all know what's taking place right now. Everybody know again up in as you say, in Easter mode. And Commanding General Yahanna, you know what you've been doing? Reminding brothers, reminding sisters, teaching brothers, raising brothers in that spirit of righteousness. And as the scripture says, if a man say he loves the Most High power, or hated his brother, go ahead.
Okay. He is a liar.
Is that what?
He is a liar.
Is that what?
He is a liar.
And this is what, you know, we see it taking place. Because men claiming to say that they love God, but want to stop the Lord's 52nd annual Passover.
Right.
This proves again and again that the Most High God is exposing something right. And as he say, he's separating the sheep from the goat. Come here on my right hand and on my left.
Right.
He's making that distinction, and why he's making that distinction that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian could see. And you know why he's making that? Because here we telling you, choose life. Choose life. And as we say, let me see who the Lord is. Because as the scripture say, where's boasting then? We don't boast here. What we just do, as we say, we just follow every command. And every command passed down from the top straight to the, it never changed. It never changed. And anytime it had any, as you say, hiccups or error in it, what's going to happen? It had the counsel to do what? To get it right. And this is why, as the scripture say, that if as the scripture say, if any man say that he loved God and hated his brother, he's a liar. Why he saying he's a liar? In the scripture they say no liar is going to enter. The people will read this and feel that they know well it's a joke, and they know they'll continue to, you know why it will be a joke to them? Because why? Just as you read, you haven't been given that spirit. And in order to receive that spirit, you must come to the I.S.U.P.K. You must come and recognize your identity, who you is. Because you know, as a black, Hispanic, or Native Indian man, you know, jumping, as we say, by every wind and doctrine and being tossed to and fro, your spirit would not be settled. Because why? Every wind and doctrine pass, what you go do? You go run after it. The breeze blows so, you run so. The breeze blow east, you run so. It blow west, you run west. And this is why we remind brothers and sisters, right? Continue.
For he that loveth not his brother, whom he had seen, how can he love God, whom he had not seen?
And it is a question. A question mark on it. Why put a question mark on it? Why make mention? Why there's a question to you, black, Hispanic, and Native Indian? The proof is before you. You're seeing what taking place, as we say, during this time of the pandemic. You're seeing again, all doors was locked up. It demonstrated again who, as we say, who is your brother and who is not. And the I.S.U.P.K have been continue to feed brothers and sisters. And again, look from the time when as we say, the Most High started, as we say, and before that and all, pour out some fury, as we say, set some fire on these nations. And look at what the I.S.U.P.K has been doing. Continuously feeding blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian. Continually, you know, reminding them daily to turn away or to separate. You need to be spiritually severed, separated from these other nations. Because why? They will only bring hurt, pain, and sorrow to you and your entire family. Right? Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 21. And this commandment.
And this what?
And this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth God love his brother also.
And this is this, and why you make mention of that, because it is recorded here. And this commandment, as you say, have we from him. And who we? The brothers and sisters who walking after these testimonies, who walking after these records. Not as we say, 1 minute as you say, you're pretending to be a brother, and next minute you're with your wife. 1 minute again you're claiming to say you love God, and when you're introducing heathen into the nation. When you have, as you say, you have a record book documented with your records, what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. He has laws to govern you by this, and there are laws that if you fail to adhere, this will be the judgment, this will be the punishment. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Now is the time, as made mention, is the time of your awareness, of your coming back to knowing your identity, of your, being reminded by us here, brothers and sisters in the I.S.U.P.K, of your identity. Because why? This is what we have been taught by righteous leadership, by Commander General Yahanna. Right? From the you go to Matthew 5, and all we're reading right now, again, this is what we have been taught, in being nurtured up, and at this time, this is something that that will bring enlightenment to brothers and sisters, as we always make mention. This is much needed, because again, brothers need that sincerity. They need that milk. Sisters need that milk. Because why now? Because you're coming out of a condition where if you push something too heavy down your throat, you can choke. You get a piece of meat to chew, you have no teeth in your mouth. You don't lose all your teeth, all them blows and them. Drink some milk. Get yourself back nourished. Revive yourself. And this is why, again, as brothers and sisters, we was reminded once, and this is why now again on this platform is where we can can cheer and bring that reminder, bring all that brotherly love, that sisterly love in that spirit to our brothers and sisters, right? Okay.
What was
5:22.
22?
Yeah, 5 and 22.
The book of Matthew chapter 5 and verse 22. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say unto his brother, Rakah, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, Thou fool, shall be in danger of hell fire.
Right. Yes. Then we go back to 1 John. 1 John, and we go 3 and 15. Just as we know already. 1 John 3 and 15.
14 character.
Yes, man. I'm not sure. 1 John 3. Right. Yeah. 15. Start at 15.
The book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 15. Whosoever hated his brother is a murderer.
Stay right. The scripture says, whosoever hated his brother is a murderer. I'll read on 22. But I say unto you, book of Matthew chapter 5 and verse 22. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment, right? And whosoever shall say to his brother Rakah shall be in danger of the council. Read over 15.
The book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 15. Whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer.
Right. Why in danger? You're in danger of judgment. Because why? In this body, as we say, what our king laid down, he laid down righteousness before us. He laid down that love for your brother, not that hate. And you just having that in your mind, you automatically do what? Murder your brother. Right? Go ahead.
Okay. And ye know that no murderer hath eternal life abiding in him.
Right, and because why? That spirit that dwelling in him, what you go continue to do?
Same thing.
You continue to do the same thing. You continue to do the same thing. And this is why now again in I.S.U.P.K under command General Yohanna, as we say, we have a prison program. We have brothers and sisters who again came out from all walks of life. And by reading this and breaking this down and understanding the spirit of brotherhood and the spirit of sisterhood, what they know, that spirit or that demon is something that they have to fight. Because again, as the general breakdown again last night, with again, the Christian church like to make mention with Paul, with the thorn in his side, he went into it, and by going into it, he showed that how Paul had that as we say, that demon or that spirit to fight to him. It's the same way, because remember now, as we say, you up in a military, as we say, one of the greatest army, and coming out of that now, you have a lot of desires. You have a lot, as we say, you have to fight that. So now, because now you're coming into the truth and you're understanding your identity and who he is, as we say in Romans 9 and 1, as we say, you pray that you be that for your brethren, for your kinsmen who are Israelites. You pray because why? Understanding that way or that walk alive and coming out of it, as we say, we all have again that demon to fight. But here what we know, that in this house, as we say, as a me and I, we're going to serve the Lord. We're going to walk after the Lord statutes and commandments. We remind our brothers as ourselves daily. Again, this is why now again, as we look and we see that the spirit that has been rampant right now, and as you say, getting more prevalent, because again, this is the time at the end. This is where again, our King Yahweh kingdom is going to be set up, and every other nation is going to be put into servitude to serve, because why? As the scripture say, when the righteous in authority, the whole earth rejoice. Right? Go ahead, continue.
Hereby, verse 16, hereby perceive we the love of God, because he had laid down his life for us.
Right, and we know who laid down his life for us, or King Yahweh laid down his life for us. He led by example. And this is why, again, as these religious group try to come up, against, Commanding General Yohanna's sons. What he's going to do, he's going to remind them. He's going to remind them. What he's going to remind them? That, hey, you didn't have no interest when brothers was in prison. You didn't have no interest when sisters was as we say, was whoring themselves. Now you see this house, building in righteousness. Now you want to show interest. Look the example, as you see, the sister Joy Morgan. Our records lay down, as we say, don't give your daughters unto their sons, and don't give your sons unto their daughters, lest they turn and they forget. This sister understood something, and understood that as you see, just as the scripture said, the Most High made a difference between us and the Egyptians. That we were not supposed to intermingle amongst these Hamites and them. And because of our statement, and I know again, if you get a chance, I know, like, just throw in the link with the Black Watch channel in the chat for last night. So you know, some brothers, you know, and sisters could go on the channel and view. Because why? The platform that is laid down right now is a platform that as you say, in the spirit of the Most High in Christ, to bring that reminder, to bring to bring that severing or that separation, because it's sure, right? Yeah, you read you walk to verse 17, 18, after 18.
Verse 17. But whosoever, but whoso had this world's good.
Right, but whoso had this world's good, as we say, it's here S at the end. And again, this is our next breakdown again. You can go into again on our web page and you'll understand that the world just means age or society. And just as I made mention before, that our King Yahawashi was talking to this brother Nicodemus, because now we questioning that when we see that same war, how can a man be saved? And Commanding General and have been saving lives since 1969, because this is how we have been brought up, saving lives through our records, reminding Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that this is your identity, this is who he is, and this is what he have been doing since 1969 in raising up, fathers, mothers. Again, continue.
But whosoever had this world's good, and seeth his brother have need, and shutteth up his bowels of compassion from him, how dwelleth the love of God in him?
How that can dwell in him? And we say with the clip and all, showing with again with this, this as we say, this fake, as we say, break off, talking about $2,000 that could help the nation. Or King made mention of this when he tell one of them, he say, hey, look on the coin, who face you see there? Yeah, where they say that they say Caesar face. They say, well, render unto Caesar what is Caesar. But you talking about, as we say, about dollars and cents, about $2,000, could help the nation. You know what could help the nation? By you being a brother, by you being a sister. And how you're going to be that? By understanding your record, understanding who you is, and where you can learn that only in the I.S.U.P.K and the Commanding General. As we say, no corrupt tree could bring forth good fruit. And we see they're seeing it daily. And the records, as we say, it stand before you. It stand before the nation, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 18. Verse 18. My little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth.
But in what?
In deed and in truth.
This is why I.S.U.P.K is the home of the truth. And again, the Gen.YAHANNA break it down. He did that breakdown as well. Again, this is why I need to tune into these classes and then he show you that as we say, that's straight and narrow. That's straight and narrow. Because now as we say, we try this spirit by this spirit, you understanding, but wait now. Oh yes, as we say, so full up. Not knowing the introduction of all kind of, as we say, fruits that doesn't belong.
Right.
And this is why, as you say, when you look now, and as you say, that some of them who looking, try them. And when you try them and you realize, but wait now, them teaching rape. But I know in the scriptures. And then now, as you say, when you look now, as you see men standing, as you say, bread, boots and bed. Then look for that. And what you're going to see, you as you say, you're going to see that again, that these men and them going up against everybody.
Right.
They're not even, as we say, not even bowing or trying to rest the tail between the legs, because understand who they serve. We understand who we serve. We serve a true and living God. And this is why, as we say, this is a reminder to the nation. This is a reminder to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Right? Go back to Matthew, and you just read off verse 20, 21, 5 and 21. 21. You read over. 20,
22. The book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 21. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment.
And whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. Go ahead.
But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Rakah, shall be in danger of the council. And whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hell fire.
This is going up against your brother. Going up against your brother. And when you read, as you see, when you read higher up in verse 17, you say, think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. He didn't come to destroy none of them there. So all that is recorded in here, in the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man records, in all records, was recorded for what? For learning. And was brought to understanding by our King Yahushua, who is going to sit again on the throne and be that king and again over the nation of Israel. Right? Go to then we go to Matthew 18 and 21.
The book of Matthew, chapter 18 and verse 21. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him?
Right, and as we say, he say, how oft shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? Right, read 22.
Verse 22. Jesus said unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7.
Go to Luke. Let me get next up on Luke 16. Luke 16. Luke 16 and read 31. We're coming into 17 with this. Read 31.
The book of Luke chapter 16 and verse 31. And he said unto him, if they hear not Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded, though one rose from the dead.
And we know well this parable now was concerning with I believe with the rich man and Lazarus. And this was Christ now breaking it down. Right? Read 17 and 1.
17 and
Say 17.
The book of Luke chapter 17 and verse 1. Then said he unto the disciples,
Right.
It is impossible, but that offenses will come.
And why he making mention of that? It is impossible. Because you know what will happen? It's going to come. It's going to come. And this is why, as you see when we watch, that righteous leadership and commanding General GEN.YAHANNA leading by example. That and the men above leading by example.
Right.
This is why now we know it's impossible, but here we will know it's going to come. Because who mentioned that? Who let us know that? Just as we read in 31, say Moses was there, and the prophets neither will they be persuaded, because he's talking about the brothers. Because remember now he making mention that hey, give me a chance, I'm gonna go back to remind my brothers. You feel because you raising from the dead, you won't make any difference. If the prophets was before, Moses was before, these laws was before, and as we now read, think not that I come to destroy the law of the prophets. And we seeing it, as we say, playing off right now. You think, anything will persuade you? This is why the I.S.U.P.K under commanding General GEN.YAHANNA always make mention that we are not affiliated. Because why? The true, as we say, the spirit of the Most High Christ lies there. And that is why, again, brotherhood, is the key to life. Because why? We can find that key is in the I.S.U.P.K under commanding General GEN.YAHANNA. Right? Go ahead.
Finishing the verse. What's that about? Yeah. Then said he unto the disciples, It is impossible, but that offenses will come. But woe unto him through whom they come. Through whom they come.
Because why? What we seeing right now, we seeing this as we say, this purple and gold trying to do what? Trying to stop the Lord's Passover. But where our king say that woe unto him through these offenses come. Destruction unto him. It recorded right here. Anybody who try to say, as we say in the prayer, say let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plagues shake the house of the thief and the murderer. This is why these things have been made mention. Because why? Is a reminder. Because why? Again, only your brother could bring that reminder to you. And this is what commanding General GEN.YAHANNA have been holding them since 1969. And never lay down, as we say, a sword. And continue to, as we say, to rally on. As we always make mention, Brakataya, Wayawasha, and the mercy, and the most and strength, then continue to strengthen, command general and generals, the captains, the men above, as the soldier on, and raise up righteous brothers, raise up righteous sisters, in continuing this work at the Most High, Right? Go ahead.
It were better for him that a millstone will hang about his neck and he cast into the sea, than he should offend one of these little ones.
When as we say, when one of the, as we say, when the purple group woke up on the brother, that if they had understanding and as say, if they had a righteous leader, then they don't know what. You is not to go against your brother.
That's right.
You is not to as we say, to introduce these, as we say, these homosexual, these Africans, these Canaanites, these Hamites, I mean, into the body. Because why? This is why, as we say, we always remember our sister Joy Morgan. As we always, may she rise again. And we understand, we know this. We know that she's going to rise again. Because why? She had that zeal, that spirit, because she understood something. She was not making no African ride she back or ride she belly.
Right.
She rather die. And you know the general did that class and that with the sister. When Esau sit down, I think, and sit down, say yeah, what's going on? I think that was the sister who jumped on the bus. Which was she name again? I forget the sister name. Yeah, and you know, the devil wanted to ride she. Say you will ride me, but you ride a dead body. You will ride me, but you have to ride a dead body. And this is an example for sisters. Be aware. Commanding General Yohanna have been bringing the aware, raising righteous brothers, and bring the awareness to you all. Again, this is why, again, we always make mention to continue to pay attention to these, you know, classes, to these, you know, brothers who sitting at these tables. Pay attention, because why? It will always be reminder. Because why? You would not be reminded in the Christian church. You would not be reminded in any religious organization. Because now we see right now, more, as you say, more and more, as you say, the man has sin being revealed, because it's coming out now, more and more. And here we telling them, because our next video and all, with as you say, with Esau, the so-called white man, talking about, you know, here we say, which one are you all then had the Holy Spirit to tell these people and that they are priests and kings? And he's saying that. Which one are you all then had that? So now the devil trying to, again, as we say, as the scripture say, never trust thine enemy.
Right.
You always had them to ask about 10 sword length. As a ready 10 sword length. I even say 10, 7, 10. Because why? You're never to be trusted. Right? Oh yeah. We're going up to verse 3.
Verse 3. Take heed to yourself. If thy brother trespass against thee, rebuke him. And if he repent, forgive him.
And when he said that, he said, check him. Check him. And this is what Commanding General Yohanna have been doing, the generals, the men above. Inside here, you always get a check in. Anytime you see that spirit wavering. And that check-in is to get you back right. It's to set it right. This is why, you know, again, the council that the Most High has set up, as you say in the 4 dimensions, the same council he has set up right now in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General. These other religious organizations do have no council. They set up, you know, again, council to sit down with the oppressor,
right,
and try to see how much you know they could get more rich, as we say, how much they could feed off of the backs of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. But you know, Commander General Yohanna been doing, as we say, look up on the web page, see food, look at the food drive daily. Because you know why? He understands what it takes to be a brother.
Right.
What it takes to be a father. Because why? Your children crying, and you hear what going on. You haven't, but what you want to do? You want to feed them. You rather do what? You rather, as we say, please master, live with master. As I say, you master sick, you sick too. These is reminders. And again, that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian, come and revive your spirit. Come and retain back your identity. Come and get the full understanding of who we are. Outside as you say, the I.S.U.P.K, under Commander General, and outside of the truth, they have no life. You'll just be in the wind, and as you say, just waiting to be that next step. Just waiting to be that next brother, that next sister, to be gone down, to be shoot down. But know this, that the Most High God had given us that opportunity, as we say, because seeking, and the truth is before us, because the scripture say that this word is going to go out, and every ear is going to hear, everyone is going to get an opportunity to hear this. Because we know people flooding the social media platform. And some I see today and also is like, wait, boy, look how, as you say, the Christian church, again, just as they mentioned, going at, as we see, our children. Because again, when it had a little, what the day here in Trinidad is where the called, we name the holiday, short hour? Shorter Baptist. And we understand that this is this was again one of the oppressor way enslaving the minds of Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian.
Right.
Keeping them in track, and so they had a holiday today, and on this radio station, it had this brother and three little a brother and two little sisters, and they dressed up in this whole liberation thing now, and using them now as a tool now to try to influence the nation, in saying that well, read the Bible, do
Right.
this, influence them into that now. And again, these are just children, and because they know being children again and again, without that milk, and without that parenting, what going to happen? They're going to feel, as you say, everything that come out my mouth sound good. And this is what we see happening in the Christian church. Everything that come out, as you say, the mouth, concerning, as you say, whatever the quote unquote say, whatever the serving, as you say, the depiction of the white man image, Jesus, sound good. Because again, we know that you can't go against them with that image. And they have a whole record book before them. And when they tell them, as we say, that Christ is a black man, they will tell you which part they see that. But and saying that how you read the Bible. And this is why again the I.S.U.P.K under commanding generally, and they bring them reminders to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Right? Finish verse 3.
Verse 3.
Yeah, right? From the jump to there we go, Matthew 25.
40.
Yeah.
The book of Matthew chapter 25 and verse 40. And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me.
And this is why again has been made mention, and our king made mention unto this. And again, when you go on and you read up and you read coming down now, it's showing you now with that servant. As you see, when he needed when he was thirst, they gave him drink. When he wanted something to eat, they gave him bread. And then it had the ones who, when he was thirst, they didn't give him nothing. When he wanted bread, they didn't give him nothing. That's paraphrasing. And now we to the point where he said at all, as he say, and the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, as much as ye have done it unto one of these least my brethren, ye have done it unto me.
Right.
And he made a reminder. And why he made a reminder? Because again, because we serve a true and living God, and we understand what is brotherhood, and we understand what is sister. And if you entreat my brother unfairly, it come like you entreat me, you treat me unfairly as well. If you, as you say, you try to bring harm to my brother, what's going to happen? That means to say that how you're going to bring harm to me. Remember, let me go to Proverbs chapter 14.
The book of Proverbs,
14 and 31.
Chapter 14 and verse 31. He that oppresseth the poor reproacheth his maker.
Read that again.
He that oppresseth the poor reproacheth his maker.
And why this is being made mention? Because we see it going on. We see it going on in the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian community. We see that going on in these 12 tribes community, as we say, which we know them by name. We see that going on, as we say, in the community of Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Asher, Naphtali, and Issachar. We see that going on in these community. We see as the scripture say, he that oppresseth the poor reproacheth his maker. Go ahead.
But he that honored him hath mercy on the poor.
And we see this is what commanding general had been doing. Because why? He always make us know, hey, as we say, as the scripture say, for thou art poor, but thou art rich. Or King made mention of that. And this is why now again, we not going, as we say, as we say, to sit amongst, as we again, these who sit on high seat. Because again, as the scripture say, it harder for a rich man. It's not saying that a rich man is not going to enter, but it's harder. It's harder. Why it's harder? Because he's not going to give up his riches. Right. The example in the scriptures, in our records, these religious organizations are not going to give up their riches. Right. They say they're doing this, they say they're keeping this, and they say they're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. All well and good. Here what to do? Sell all we have and walk after me. The scripture says, great was the possession. The whole great possessions in this society. They are not going to serve, as we say, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the brothers. What they'll do, as we say, they'll sit down under $20 million jet and try to cock up with the oppressor. And again, it had it, as you say, like countless records. Countless. And this is why the brotherhood and sisterhood is so important. Because with all brotherhood and with all sisterhood, there's no reminder. There's no reminder. All there is just lust and desire your own flesh. You know, seeing how you can make it, and as you say, you make it in this society, but we know that will come to an end. When you have something set in place for forever and ever. When as you say, your riches is forever and ever. Your rulership is forever and ever. But you have never been taught this. throughout the entire, rebirth in the society, throughout the entire war in the society. But now again, the Most High truth reside in the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General, righteous leadership, where brothers again, the priests and the prophets, could sit and chair these classes before you and bring that understanding and bring that reminder as brothers and as sisters. Right? Continue. Yes, man. We read, jump down to verse 35.
35. Verse 35. The king's favor is toward a wise servant.
And why the king's favor is toward this wise servant? Because you know why? What you gonna do? You going to know how to distribute to your brother, to your sister. You gonna know, hey, that to demonstrate that love for your brother, demonstrate that love to your sister. Because why? Because it was given unto him, and that why as the scripture say, the king's favor is towards, a wise servant. Go ahead.
But his wrath is against him that causeth shame.
And his wrath is going to be against him that causes shame. And we see what, again, these religious organizations, these fake camps, what they are doing. Their duty is always to serve under the oppressor. And because again, as we see that marker Psalms 83, these nations conspired and know who we are. You as a black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, all you only doing when you suck up on the, you only bringing shame to your brother, shame to your sister. And this is why, as we read before, with our favor, without that towards, that wise servant, because Commander General had been that wise servant, since he have given, the authority by the Most High in Christ to rule over this nation. He have been doing this without wisdom, that understanding, and that knowledge. Because why? Why he's doing that? Because he had these records before. And as a servant, and as a servant, this is what he have been doing: raising brothers, raising sisters. Cheering it down, passing it down, as you see, as it come down through the chain link, through the general, as the scripture say, one flow through these records. That same one flow that you have been, demonstrated. Because why? As we now read, the king's favor is towards, a wise servant. Right? Drop that. Maybe go to Luke. Luke 6. Luke 6. 6 and 30.
6 and 30?
Yeah, 6 and 30.
The book of Luke, chapter 6 and verse 30. Give to every man that asketh of thee, and of him that taketh away thy goods, ask them not again.
Right. Go ahead. Read over again.
I don't count. The book of Luke, chapter 6 and verse 30. Give to every man that asketh of thee, and of him that taketh away thy goods, ask them not again.
Right, go ahead.
And as ye would that men should do to you, do ye also do ye also to them likewise. For if you love them which love you, what thank have ye? For sinners also love those that love them.
So who are sinners, right? Give me jump to Matthew 7:21. Because again, you know, in these accounts, you know, you could go to our next account and you get it more clearer and more understanding in it. Right? Actually, 7.
Was it?
7 and 20 and 21.
The book of Matthew, chapter 7 and verse 21. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven.
See that again.
Not everyone that saith unto me,
Right.
Lord, Lord,
Right.
shall enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Right. Not everyone that said, Lord, Lord, you know, shall enter into unto me shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. Go ahead.
But he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven.
And this is why, you know, as we say, let me see who the Lord with. Let me see who the Lord with. And as we see in it daily, we see who the Lord with. We see who the Lord with, and the Lord with the I.S.U.P.K under commanding General YAHANNA. Because more and more is being exposed. More and more is being brought out. And you know, again, what as we say, that wise servant will do. He will just tell, as we say, continue, as we say, to march on. Because we know this, as the scripture say, over the offenses. We know this. And who taught us that? Our King Yahushua taught us that. And that servant now will always teach us to march on. And you know what? What they're holding the integrity of the Most High. They're holding the integrity of these records. Because what we do, as we say, we serve a true and living power. And why? Because it is recorded in here. And just as we read before in Luke, now as make mention, he said, not everyone that said, no, Lord, Lord, shall enter into this kingdom.
Right.
Right? You read 22. 22. Yeah, 22. Yeah.
22
Mm-hmm.
Verse 22. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name?
And again, as these accounts, you know, bring certain things more clear and dropping question marks on it, because this is what we see in these fake religious organizations. Again, these questions will already posed to you, and the I.S.U.P.K under commanding General YAHANNA is bringing the warning. It before you all, it before the nation, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian, and the Most High God was so, as we say, so our Father. He tell us to choose life. Go ahead.
And in thy name have cast out devils.
Go ahead.
And in thy name done many wonderful works.
Go ahead.
And then will I profess unto them.
And then he come down, so he come down, say, and then, and now, go ahead.
And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you.
I never do what?
Never knew you.
And why? Because I tell you to choose life. I tell you to choose life. He say, I said before you, life and death, good and evil. But seeing that, you know, as we say, as Ezekiel make mention, the rebellious, the stiff-hearted, the stubborn. You know what I will do for you? I will make it. I will make it up. put things in place. Hey, choose life. Because this is what will happen.
Right.
This is what will happen. We will say, I never knew you what? I never knew you.
I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity.
Ye that work unrighteousness. Because why? This was your work. Bring it as you say. And we always make mention of that sister Joy Morgan trying to bring a Hamite up inside of it.
Right.
Trying to bring, as we say, all kind of, as we say, African, or as we say, homosexual deviances up inside of it.
Right.
And this is the example of the Christian church, because now, as we say, when the generals then bring it out, it shows you that spirit, that rampant, that plagiarizing the earth right now. Because why? As you say, the devil understand that but a short time. And now, as we've been taught that that a demon job is to do what? Is to make sure that as you say, take it down. That is his job.
Right.
To kill him before you leave. And there are examples of that. That is his job. Right? Jump from there, go to Mark. Go to Mark. Let me see these things. Go to Mark chapter 12 and verse 30.
The book of Mark, chapter 12 and verse 30. And thou shalt love thy God, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment.
And as you see, this was mentioned, and let's go to Leviticus chapter 19, and we will see this is where our king was making mention of. Leviticus 19 and 7. Read 17 and 18.
The book of Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart, and thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him.
Right. And this is as you say, this is in the Old Testament, as it make mention, and we know this is just one book, one flow, and this is what our king was quoting off of. Go ahead.
Thou, verse 18, thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
And who is the children of thy people? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Go ahead.
But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord.
And this was instructions coming from whom?
I am the Lord.
The Most High God. Pass down. And then what we do? Pass on to our king. As you see, 1 Corinthians 11 and 3. That structure never changed. Right? Again, as a reminder to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, again, as we continue to, work on the platform that is before us right now, and continue to, as we say, remind brothers and sisters throughout North, Central, and South America, wherever the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian family, women and children reside, again, by coming back to identity by understanding that these records belong to you. This is a reminder to us as a nation and as a people that we have, our records that are set before us, and that with all that brotherhood and all that sisterhood.
Right.
We had the example before us, 400 years of servitude, 400 years of slavery. And now with the understanding, just by by praise the prophets, by our King Yahawashi, and passing down the chain of command. Again, the man with that authority was given that authority to bring the reminder to the nation. Is again Commander General Yahanna, and he will, instructed that again, brothers and sisters should come back to their identity. And again, every day, Commander General Yahanna is hiring.
Right.
He's hiring blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Brothers, to do what? To help wake back up these 12 tribes.
Right.
Because this was given the instructions given that we should go not into the way of the heathen, but go rather unto who? Unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And this was the instruction that was passed there. Commanding General Yahanna just followed that order and pass it down to the generals, to the captains, to the officers. Come straight down. And this is why now again, as you say, the 90 days as a brother, that trooper, you shedding yourself, that old man, that old woman.
Right.
Coming into your identity, putting away, as you say, lustful desires, and fighting them deviances. And this is why again we remind brothers and sisters that again the Lord's Passover is coming up, here in Trinidad. We continue to cheer on again. We continue to as we say, do just as we have been instructed, and we, as we say, follow the orders, that was given from above, from Commander General, and come down, as we say, to love our brothers as ourselves, continue to look out for one another, continue to, as we say, to pay attention as the generals, continue to bring all these classes and these reminders to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Again, we have classes, every day of the week, except on a Thursday, we sit here, and do a live stream, from time to time on Jeremiah Hyman, on his scripture breakdown, or whoever he gives that instructions to, whether it be Captain Zarak, any one of the captains. We tune in to that live scripture breakdown class, right? Again, on Mondays, we had the history class. Tuesday, the brotherhood class. Wednesday, the law classes. I just had to make mention of the live stream from time to time. On Thursday, the Lasha One Podash, which is something again that we embrace, because time for us again to separate or to sever ourselves from that as we say, that bastard tongue.
Right.
Again, on Saturdays, we hold the Sabbath service, and again with the understanding, we understand what the Sabbath is for, and we explain that to our brothers and sisters. Not you lock up in a room and as I say, no movement, because you must move. Now that again, that day was made for you. What he was talking about again was you not indulging yourself with no, as we say, outside activity, for your oppressor, because there are many scriptures, or you having a business, invigilating your employees to work on that, right? Again, on Sunday as well, we had the scripture breakdown with our camp leader, and the leader who is under Commanding General and out instructions, priest and officer, 5,000 Galawan, following the instructions and leading brothers and sisters. Again, go up on the web page, you know, type in I.S.U.P.K Trinidad, you know, you'll find the number there, you know, contact Officer Galawan, get the righteous counsel, you know, and this would you know, bring that change, as we say, that first step in you becoming, you know, that we say, that person to make that step towards change, right? And again, this is a reminder that we like, share, subscribe the classes and them, you know, pay your tithes as a reminder, because again, the general went into that, and you know, again, with understanding, brought it clear, because from time to time we continue to put off what we say, the work of the Most High, and continue to, you know, to suffice our own flesh. As we say, we come like we control it, we want to control sin. We reign over sin, but not knowing that the Most High God just gave that, as we say, that option, or gave that command. If you do this, then, as you say, choose life.
Right.
Choose life. And again, with that, you know, we pass the class, the priest, and Officer your card.
Security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street, New York, under commanding GEN.YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes in, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers chapter 18 and verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3 from verse 8 to 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew, and is pronounced ma'ashra. 10% of any penny. So like 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher, priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation, we have the 52nd Annual Lord's Passover, which is on Saturday, April 24th at sundown. Remind Akia and Akwatian to check on social media, such as isupk.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If your brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he needs to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, like shirt, like pants, like headband, or scarf. And with that, you say, imagine, the funny up and down, you shoot the right and face the east. You say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Kodash, Ayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakofka, Taba'a, Zaka, Ayah, Aisha, Baharatiza, Kuwa, Ayah, Bashamayim, Zananuwa, Lakum, Ka, Yawam, Wasalakno, Kawawatno, Kasalakno, Kawawatno, Wala'a, Tabianawa, Wanasaiwa, Abo, Kawashino, Mayan, Rad, Kaya, Laka, Amalapa, Wa'ala, Watafara, La'aiwalamia, Aman.
The English, our Father,
God
in heaven,
will
be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, will be done, on earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day, daily bread, forgive us our debts, forgive our debtors, lead us not into temptation, deliver us from evil, for thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
So, let's give the teacher a salute. I'm Adon Shabbat, Majum, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yeshua Bakata. The Mata, let's give the sisters online a salute. I'm Adon Shabbat, Majum, Barak, Yahweh Shema Latan Ba'ashak Yahushai. In the Mata, class dismissed.